The OK Industries Surefeed AR15 magazines. Let's check them out. OK Industries has been making AR-15 magazines for over 40 years for the U.S. military. And these are some of the most sought after magazines for those guys in the field. OK magazine just stands for quality. So we're going to take a look at some of the pros and cons of these magazines and also compare it to some of your polymer magazines that are offered now and why choose OK Industries magazines over possibly Magpul mags. Let's find out what Surefeed's all about. Before the advent of polymer magazines, there was the aluminum magazine. This is your mil-spec standard magazine. This is an original, in fact this was made in 1991 and it's stamped. Of course it's really seen some use. And this is just what we had offered to us pretty much. I mean, there were some other mil-spec mags you could get, but it was usually just surplus mags you could find. Especially during the assault weapons ban. That was one of the things. There were huge bins of these that were pre-ban mags that you could still buy. But the one name we would always look for, other than Colt, was OK mags. These were the most sought after magazines because of their quality. So when I heard that OK mags were now available to the U.S. civilian market, I was pretty excited about it. Now, obviously, I'm a big fan of Magpul mags. The P mags are just awesome. But when Magpul was just this, this was the original item that Magpul came out with. And I remember going to gun shows and seeing these. In fact, I picked up some while I was looking for pre-ban magazines during the first assault weapons ban. And so these mags have been tried and true for a number of years. In fact, OK Industries, which is the maker of the Surefeed magazine, they were instrumental in designing the 30-round magazine for the U.S. military. And OK Mags has been a magazine supplier for the U.S. military for over 40 years. OK Industries in itself has been around since 1911 as B. John Company. And they actually developed the first M-1 Carbine mags and sold millions of the M-1 Carbine mags, and then in 1968 became OK Industries. But OK Industries only sold to the U.S. military until about 2015. So these have been out for a little while, but this is the first opportunity I've had to try out the new magazines. I have a lot of experience with the old ones, and one of the things I would do typically with these would change out the followers, even change out the base plates, because Magpul makes base plates for USGI magazines. Not only this, but also a solid base plate as well. These are Magpuls, and definitely these are Magpuls. Now, OK Industries not only supplies parts and actually even receivers and gun parts and other type magazines for the U.S. military. They are also they do a lot of medical machinery and a lot of really high-tech, very complicated parts, stampings, and milling. Now, these magazines have definitely been used already because I've already done the field test. But they are scuffed from the factory, and that's one of the things they talk about on their website, is that these have been scuffed and tested before you get them. In fact, there's a lot of strenuous tests that these go through. And again, they are either meet or exceed military spec. Now, these should be able to feed in any of your AR-15 mil-spec type platforms, including the Tavor, the Bren, you know, all of your FNs. That's one of the things about these magazines, is pretty cool. Now they come in the standard military spec gray finish, which is a dry film lube. And it actually has a little bit of tacky to it, but it's very easy to put in and out of your magazine well. And then now they have the tactical black, which is a Teflon finish, and this is really slick, but yet it's not slick in your hands. It moves in and out of the action really easily. So they have the 30 rounders, the 20 rounders, and they do offer 10 rounders as well. Now the floor plate is easily removed. It has a hole right here. You'll need a punch. You can even use a bullet. It's actually pressed right here, and it comes out the back where this little tab fits. So you put it in, raise up just a touch, and then just pull out. Real simple. They have stainless steel magazines, which are up to mil spec. But what I really want to show you are the followers. It does have the non-tilt followers, anti-tilt followers, and these are actually Magpul followers. I mean, they're exactly the same. And one of the things about Magpul is this isn't a polymer. It's actually a resin, and this repels water and chemicals, and it dries faster than polymer. And it's a real slick finish to it. This helps to guide your follower, especially for the 30 rounders. The 20 rounders is not so important. The 30 rounders, that anti-tilt really makes a big difference. And to give you a comparison, this is the original OK Mag, and this is a standard follower, and we're going to look at that. Take it out, remove it the same way. Most of my old surplus mags, I've replaced the followers with Magpul followers, or military anti-tilt followers. Still has the stainless steel spring. But as you notice, there are no legs on the front and the rear, only in the center. And this can cause a problem with it tilting and bending down. Here's the two side by side. You can see the big difference. And if you have old surplus magazines, you definitely want to go with these new anti-tilt followers. The mags are etched with the OK Industries and then the manufacturer's date. And as you can see, this is 7/2016. Here we see the original OK Mag and 0691. Now Magpul mags have been proven they're excellent. I mean, I love Magpul mags, and there are a number of other polymer magazines that are just great. They feed, never have any issues from them. So why would you want to go with the old 40-year design compared to the newer design of the polymer? There are a couple of issues. Number one, my big thing is honestly that it just has that vintage kind of traditional look to it. I just like it. And it feeds well. It's really smooth and slick into the action. Even more so than the polymer. Loading it into the magazine well, really easy. It's just slick. It just fits really nice. Drops free really easily. P-Mag, same thing. A little bit of friction, just a little bit more than the aluminum mag. And this is my BCM RECCE. Awesome rifle. Primary arms 1x8. First focal plane scope. Incredible scope. Got a bunch of mags loaded up with Freedom Munitions 5.56, 115 grain, full metal jacket, in the Surefeed magazines. Got both the black and the mil-spec gray. One of the things in extreme temperatures, they don't shatter, they won't swell. at all. I mean, they stay pretty constant to the size, which is possible with the Magpul mags, but typically you're not going to find that. And one advantage is that these are impervious to any kind of solvents, whereas your polymer mags can be susceptible. Also, heat can really damage these. Now, one of the things about the aluminum mag to me is these can get bent and they can get dented. If that happens, it can restrict the follower, which typically your P-mags will not. In fact, I've done some really serious torture tests with the P-mags and they have held up really well. But one of the things that I did do with this magazine was I ran over it with my truck. No real exterior damage to the mag except right here where it was on the pavement. Just some little nicks. But feed lips look great. Everything looks good. And as I showed before, it kind of scuffed it up a little bit, but nothing to the body of the magazine. It held up really well. So I think in normal conditions, even with a lot of abuse, you're not going to have any problems with these. And guys, to be honest with you, again, I've been using these magazines for a number of years and have never had any real issues except with followers, and that's just been very little, honestly. The followers, the anti-tilt followers fix any kind of problems you have. And even though they're metal mags, they are aluminum. And this weighs 4 ounces. Your standard P-mag, 4.9 ounces. So you have a little extra weight with the P-mag. One possible issue you could have with your metal magazines are the feed lips getting bent. Now these are heat treated to really high tolerances and they're going to hold their form really well. It's going to take a lot to bend that, but it's possible. With the P-mags, you don't have that trouble with them bending, but one of the things you can have is trouble with them cracking or breaking. And if they get a lot of abrasion, it can actually wear on that, where it's not going to wear necessarily as much. Now just to load these side by side, I'm going to load the OK mag first, or the Surefeed. You can see it's just really easy to load. One of the things I'll tell you, when you get down to close to the 30 round mark, it stays consistently easy to load. It doesn't really get any tighter. Here, the Magpul mag, same thing, easy to load, no problem. One other thing that I would consider and could possibly be a downside are the noise. Your polymer mags are not going to make near as much noise, whereas your aluminum mags, you're going to have a little more of a noise factor. In the packaging, it does have a little manual inside each of the magazines, and it tells you all the different things about the magazine, how to care for it, how to load it. I mean, it's everything. So that's pretty neat in itself. While the 30 round magazines really increase your capacity, 20 round magazines are great for the bench, being able to sight in your rifle, being able to get prone. So I definitely recommend getting 20 round magazines to go with your 30s. As far as price goes, the manufacturer suggested retail is $18.95, $19.95. But I'm finding these for about the $12.50, $12.95 range. P-mags, the Gen 3, now not without the window, just the standard Gen 3 polymer mags, looking at about $12, $12.50. Maybe just a little cheaper than the OK mags. So, again, it's just a matter of preference, what you like. Maybe you want to mix things up a little bit. But these are a great offering, and if you really like this style magazine or you want to try them out, the one to get is the OK mags. There's a lot of different brands of the aluminum or even the steel magazines out there, and I see a lot of super deals. But that always concerns me. I'll pick up a P-mag before I'll pick up a lot of those. But with the OK mag, I'm telling you guys, I just got a lot of experience with OK, a lot of confidence. And again, these have been used by the U.S. military for over 40 years, not including the M-1 magazines, which millions of those were made by B. John Company, which is OK mags. And then the OK mags used for the M16 and the M4 for over 40 years, and millions of these have been made. And guys, I think the U.S. military right here has proven what these magazines can take. This sucker's still rocking. So you can do like me and own a number of both. And you can go to surefeedmagazines.com, check out all the details. I want to thank those guys for sending these magazines for this evaluation. This was a lot of fun. And this video would not have been possible without my good friends from Freedom Munitions. I want to thank them for sponsoring the ammo. This is their new manufactured stuff. It is excellent. The OK Industries Surefeed AR15 magazines, okay. And they're not just okay, it's a big thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. Here we see this original AK mag. One advantage of the, one big advantage of the, but you can't go wrong with these new speed feed mags. Speed feed. So the OK Industry speed feed. So the speed feed magazines. So the OK Industry speed feed magazine. Let's see what speed feed's all about. The Surefeed magazines. What are they? Okay. The Surefeed. The OK Industry Surefeed.